this thing started. I'm going to go ahead and press the record button here. And yes, we're going to talk about building a strong Facebook client generation system, but with video. So I'm going to start this out. We're going to bring Grant on. Grant, please say hello to everyone really first.
Yeah, what's up, man? What's up? Pumped to be here and pumped to drop as much value as I possibly can today. So thanks for having me.
Yes, you got it, dude. Well, let's start at the very beginning, Grant, and I'm going to tee this up for you. So what we're talking about today, you guys, is really branding your business with video, because the truth is that I think this is the future of lead generation. I think it's the future of marketing. Branding, personal branding is huge. And let me just first break down what the hell that means, because I think a lot of times people see all the time, and Grant, I don't know if you see this amongst your groups, but people are always like, what does it mean to build a brand, right? No, people overthink it, because it is. First of all, it's confusing to think of yourself as a brand, as an agent, because you're just an individual. So I understand it, but here's what this means for us in real estate. Brand equals the number of people who instantly associate your name when real estate's being conversed. That's it. Top of mind brand awareness. Why we use videos is because it makes you hard to forget. It's really that simple. But what is extremely important is understand that you don't build a brand being inconsistent. You build a brand by consistent communication to the same audience over time. I have not seen Grant's presentation, but I can guarantee you what's going to be in it is the concept of retargeting. And he's going to consistently pop up on people's news feeds and whatnot over time with consistent, authentic messaging, all right? Now, what I want to go through really first is sort of the breakdown of agent business and talk to you how important relationship building is with this and why video is that good medium for that. But really, really quick is that if you look at where sales really come from, 51% come from referrals, 12% comes from repeat business, 3% referrals from strategic alliances, 10% from the signage, 4% from the open house. Folks, at the end of the day, 80% of the business is coming from people you used in the past or you personally met. But what does that tell us? It tells us that people use agents they feel comfortable with, period. Video makes that a lot easier. So what I want to start with, now that we laid that up, is I think this is the biggest holdup. And Grant, I'm curious to know, with all of your students and people that you speak with, where's their biggest holdup with video? And I want to hear the top three that you get right away.
So top three, number one, I don't like how I look on video. And we usually kind of rebut that with, how do you like the way you look face to face? Because there's no difference. The second thing is I don't know what to say. I have no idea what to talk about. And the third thing is a little bit more into the production elements. So how long should my videos be? What device should I use to record it? Those are some of the top three things that I get. So first, I don't like the way I look. Second, I don't know what to talk about. And then lastly, how long do I talk? What device do I talk on? What platforms do I put it on? Those types of things.
Yep. You 100%. That's exactly what I see. And actually what I'm going to show you guys is how to cure all three of those right now. So thanks for that, Grant. And you're right. A lot of us think about it too much. So here's where I suggest you start with, because if you are not authentic in your videos, and if it looks like you're trying to force something, will your Facebook ads work, Grant?
Not very good. Like, especially now, right? That might have worked like 2 or 3 years ago when there's hardly anybody doing it. Now you've got to obviously step your game up just a little bit. Not so much like step your production game up, but step your authenticity game up for sure.
Totally. So let me talk about how you guys would define a theme, is what we call it. So typically before you get on camera, before you start creating video content, it all should adapt towards your personality. And the first thing you need to know is that your videos don't have to be about real estate. They need to remind people you're in real estate. All right. And there's a major difference with that. Is like, if you're out there just constantly like hitting people over the head with your lockbox, I'm sorry, you're going to turn me off, and you're probably going to turn off a lot of other people too. But if you do it in a different type of way, no differently than how you would build a relationship offline, there's a major difference on that. The way that Grant is going to walk us through the video side of that is, well, he's going to walk us exactly through that. So what I'm getting at is that you have to have a communication strategy and talk about something you're passionate about, because when you are, you'll be authentic. And when you're authentic, it's a lot easier to connect with people. So this is how video works. And if you're not talking about shit that makes you happy, or shit that makes you excited, or shit that you intelligently are having a bunch of fun doing, it's going to come off. video is not a lead generation strategy. Not the way that I look at it, it is. It's a brand building strategy, and it's a communication strategy. So how you communicate is extremely important. 90% of the communication is going to be based on the tone and the body language you're using. Now, if I'm talking about something I'm not really passionate about, it's going to be hard for me to match my tone, isn't it, Grant?
Absolutely.
See, I can talk like this because I'm passionate right now, and I'll be loud, I'll do this. And then it comes off in my body language, right? I'm all happy, boo, boo, boo. But Grant, if you tell me to go do a video on cooking, I'm sorry, I'm hiding behind, I'm stiff as a board because I don't like cooking. All right? When you guys are on videos, only 10% of people actually retain what the fuck comes out of your mouth. That means that it's more important on how you say it versus what you say. Okay? If you guys remember, your grandmas used to tell you this when you were kids. Your mom probably told you this a couple times. Don't talk to me in that voice, sonny. Right? You see, when you're saying things and you're saying it authentically, and you're talking about something you're passionate, the concept of authenticity comes about, right? And Grant, you took the words right out of my mouth, okay? I don't know what to say. I look stupid. I'm ugly. I'm fat. This is boring. Well, yeah, because you haven't figured out what your strategy is yet. You got to start by defining your communication strategy, and you speak through that voice. If you guys haven't noticed, I'm a dude, and I'm being a dude right now. I am who I am every day. Some people don't like it, I swear, but you know what? Deal with it, because it's just who I am. I can't talk any other way. Just how I don't know, just how I am. So my point is that people don't really care what you're saying. They care more so how you're saying it. People follow your story. They don't follow your brand. People follow why you do things, not what you do. Okay, so very, very, very important. And I want to go through an example of this so that you guys can all be in the same state of mind before we get Grant on right here. So what we're going to do is I want to use an example of an agent here in the San Diego market, and I'm going to show you how we took a theme based upon her personality and turned it into a brand strategy, a communication strategy, and she speaks through her voice. So the example I'm going to use is an agent that is called Mama Sells San Diego. She's like the San Diego real estate mama, right? So we came up with a video series for Mama based, it's called Ask Mama. All right, you see, Denise is a mom that happens to be a real estate agent. She's not a real estate agent that happens to be a mom. And she can speak very comfortably with anything that deals with being a mom. So the first thing we're going to show you is a brand story video. And when we say there's a brand story video, I'm curious to know how Grant uses these in his marketing and targeting. But your brand story video is not about how long you've been in the business. It's not about how many wards or houses you sold, because quite frankly, no one gives a damn. What it is about is how your story relates to others. Can people picture themselves sitting in a car with you for an amount of time? So let's go ahead and play Denise's brand story video. Can you hear it?
It's really hard to hear.
So not only are you having to look at multiple homes, carting your children around, but now you're wondering, what's it really like to live in this area? Where are the best schools? Which is the best commute to work? Where are the parks, all the beaches? Where are the best restaurants that are kid-friendly? You know, restaurants, the ones that have that really good beer. I know that's what you're thinking. What community are you going to be happiest in? Not only for you, but for your family. Hi, I'm Denise Newell, and you don't need a real estate agent, you need Mama. Mama? What? Yeah, that's right, Mama. Mama watches over your real estate investment, absolutely no different than I'd be watching over my own family. Mama knows everything about San Diego. I'm a native, I know this town. Soccer? Been there, done that. Tantrum at the grocery store? Oh man, have I been there. School systems? Oh gosh, I'm an expert when it comes to schools. That's how I ended up in my neighborhood. Parks, kid-friendly things to do, and kid-friendly breweries? Mama knows about that too. Check, check, and check. My focus is helping families and individuals do what's best for their lifestyle. I'm hungry, but I'm not starving, and I'm driven.
No, I want to go to the end here, so we're not going to play the whole entire video, but you got most of it.
Lifestyle, pick up the phone and call Mama. If you want to buy a house and you want no drama, pick up the phone and call Mama. Yeah, I was that part.
So, you know, the video here, when Denise released that, just like organically, it gets, I don't know how many views, but well over 1,000 views or whatnot. But the point is that people remember Mama. They don't remember Denise. They remember her first name. So, Grant, I want to ask you a couple questions on the brand story side. a brand story video, in your opinion, what works better on Facebook?
I mean, anything that's authentic, like that's really the case. You know, when we look at marketing is messaging. And as much as we are marketing to somebody, we're unmarketing to somebody. And you have real estate agents that want to generate buyers leads and sellers leads, or they want to work with this demographic and not this demographic. And it's the content that you produce that, i.e., becomes that message that communicates with the marketplace, telling them who you want to work with and who you don't. You don't necessarily have to just come out and say it or discriminate or any of those types of things. Very simply, the marketing you put out into the marketplace tells that story. It lets people know this video right here is perfect, A, and B, like it's going to very clearly communicate and articulate to whoever is watching it who she likes to do business with and who she doesn't. It's going to turn the wrong people off that aren't going to want to do business with her. It wouldn't be the best relationships. And it's going to turn the right people on who are going to say, she's smart, she's funny, this is catchy. I really want to reach out to her. Seems like we'd have a lot in common.
Totally.
So I think that's something that's really important to understand. You doing it authentically and being who you are is going to help you attract more of the types of people you actually want to do business with.
When and any of you guys, like honestly, all of you guys, I want you to do this exercise and you'll be shocked. It's not gonna be 100%, but the vast majority, I want you guys to look at the last 10 clients that you closed a transaction with, and you'll notice that a lot of them became friends, and you feel like you're best friends with them, and it's because we attract like people. It's not an accident, right? So when you really, people will remember Mama, they won't remember Denise, right? And we're talking about top of mind brand awareness, standing out, being different. And I can't tell you how many videos or how many people comment on it. Now, I want to take another video. So like, how do we take Ask Mama as a concept and adapt it to like a community video? Because one of my slides there was, hey, not all of your videos have to be about real estate, right? And you know, when you're creating hyper local content for the local community, I love using this for SOI. Grant likes using this for conversion and for attention gathering on Facebook. And that's what we're gonna get into the second half of this webinar. But as long as you're creating hyper local content, folks, don't overthink it. Your videos don't have to be about real estate, but they do have to remind your network that you're in real estate, right? And when you're creating content around the areas, what the hell does that do? It says you're a real estate agent without you having to say, I'm a real estate agent. The same way why you shouldn't talk about work with your best friends all the time is the same way why you shouldn't talk about work when nurturing your SOI and or database. And even for leads, sometimes those leads aren't ready for 6 to 9 months. Maybe they need a little human video like this. So we're not going to play the whole thing through. I'm going to go ahead and just play the beginning part just so you can see. And what I want you to see is Denise's authenticity.
Friends, it's Ask Mama, and today I'm in Ramona at the Oasis Camel Dairy Farm. If you haven't heard of it, you are in for a treat. Join me. So normally you're used to me interviewing business owners, but today I'm interviewing my husband, Chad Newell. He really is the one who gets credit for finding this unique location in San Diego. So why don't you...
So the husband-wife factor here is the authenticity. Just the way they're looking at each other and talking throughout the video is like the cute factor. This is at their kid's birthday party. So all they did was literally 15, 20 minutes. They stepped to the side and they shot a video while they're there. And folks, if you're not creating content or videos on stuff you're already doing on the weekends, you have the wrong brand strategy. Grant, what would a community video or local point of interest or anything like that, is that used in Facebook? Is that used in marketing, in your opinion?
Yeah, absolutely. I think something that's great you just said, it's kind of pulling off of, like a Gary Vaynerchuk line, is don't think of content creation, think of content documentation. Like you're just documenting what's going on in your life.
Ooh, I like that.
And if you can document the things you're doing as opposed to thinking about, I got to create this content, just turn the camera on while you're living your life. And that's how Homeboy gets most of his content, right? So just so I throw that in there, when you're looking at creating content around community, I think that the easiest way to do that is look at the ecosystem that exists around your business. When we talk about ecosystems, we talk about things that are there that really kind of build up who you are and what you do. So for example, part of your ecosystem would be a loan officer, a title rep, an insurance agent, a contractor, a painter, a lawn boy, a cleaning lady, all of those different types of things that are kind of tied to real estate, which hello is like everything, right? So you have this massive ecosystem that exists that you can now leverage for content creation, because I guarantee the person that's thinking about buying a home wants to know what the lender thinks and how to get started with a lender. There's a great interview. That's content around community, and it's content around the buying process. I guarantee the person that's thinking about buying a home wants to know which lawn company to use, or which fertilizer company to use, or which cleaning crew is the best in the area, or which contractor can help them with their repairs, or which restaurants are going to be the best for them around their area, or which nonprofits, or which school principals, or which political figures. I mean, there's literally no end to the type of content you can create. And the people that are looking to move in and out of a community want to know about the community. That you have no idea how much research goes into figuring these things out. So when you can embed or create an experience, and we'll talk about that in a minute, that really just gives them all of that information, you become that crutch in the industry that they can lean on for everything that they need, not just necessarily guiding them through a real estate transaction, but being that ultimate connector that connects them to everything in their market that they need to know or want to know.
Totally. And it's a constant reminder of your existence. I'm in real estate, right? That's all this thing is. So let's talk about real estate content. I'm going to turn it over to you. So creating hyper-local videos is another route to go about it. But let's go through how we use Mama to create real estate content, like buying or selling or closing costs or something along those lines. And yes, you can still educate, but when you educate through your voice, it's a lot more powerful. Let me just show you what Denise said.
Buying a home is an opportunity just to make endless memories, and if invested wisely. Eva, I'm in the middle of doing a video. If invested wisely, this is a...
Doesn't even matter what she says the rest of the video. The fact that her kid came in there is going to generate a lot more attention than if her kid did not come in there, right? So you can literally, when you define what your theme is, this content creation part becomes easy, because realistically what it is it's just you, right? You just need to learn how to be yourself is all it is. Grant, why don't you go ahead and get your slides up and ready, because what we're going to do now is switch on over to Grant, and we're going to go through his slides, because if you guys want to know more about this video content, how to create, I have several webinars on my site. I'm happy to show and share those with you. But I want to go into how do we use this with Facebook today? How are we going to go out and about and create a killer Facebook client generation system using video content? Grant, go right ahead.
My man, thank you so much. Yeah, my goal, in the next few minutes is just to help you guys understand how to create a client generation system leveraging something like Facebook. And there is so much power when you combine direct marketing, which is something that I'm going to talk about, with branding, which is something that Mike's been talking about. It creates rocket fuel for your business, for your brand, and most importantly, for a lot of the things that you guys are interested in, which is your conversions. When we are able to generate leads and begin instantly building a brand with those people, it's really powerful what happens next. So my goal here is to teach you guys how to generate leads. It is to teach you how to dynamically retarget those leads with video content to help you build a brand, and how to leverage those two parts of the equation to generate appointments. And that's really what a client generation system is. It's something that brings you new opportunity, it warms them up, and then it calls them to act in your business so that you can go off and create more business. The first rule to going out and creating content and to marketing to people and to doing these types of things is to know who you are going to be doing those things with. If you don't know who you're talking to, if you don't know who you're marketing to, a lot of this stuff just becomes incredibly difficult. But when you know exactly who your client is and you know exactly what they want, it makes it really easy to give it to them. So even if you don't know what they want, I'm going to show you how to find that information here in just a second. But to get started, if you are around something where you can write with, I hope that you are, I want you to draw a stick figure on a piece of paper, give this person a name. And what we're thinking about is, who is my perfect client? Who is the person that if I could do business with these people every single day, my life would be amazing. I would never have to worry about anything else because I'd be working my dream job, I'd be making good money, and I'd be having an amazing reputation because everybody loves me, right? The first thing that we need to know, this category of information, is personally, who are they? And if you guys are struggling to think, who do I want to do business with in the future? Think about who you've done business with in the past. who have been your best client experiences that you've worked with, and you're like, man, if I could just work with more of those Mikes in my business, it would be incredible. Don't think for a second right now that you're limiting yourself from a client-based standpoint, because the reality of the situation is you're likely after less than 1% of a given market share. So we really need to carve out who that person is. So what's their name? What's their gender? What's their occupation? And you can always group your occupation by industry. So for example, real estate or doctors or attorneys or service-based or those different types of things. What is their income status? What category would you say that most of your prospects, your ideal customers hang out in from an income earning standpoint? Where do they like to hang out? Where do they like to shop? Where do they like to eat? All of these things are incredibly important, especially when you take into account what Mike has been trying to teach you for the last few minutes. When you know who your client wants to hear from, you know which restaurants, you know which bars, which coffee shops. When you know those things, you know who to go interview from a business standpoint, from a community standpoint, create and establish those relationships that give you fire content that you know your prospect is after. The next thing that we want to understand is, what's their family situation? What is their family status? Are they married? Are they single? Are they divorced? What's going on there? Do they have kids? Do they not have kids? Are they associated with different sports because they're children, so on and so forth? Are there specific schools that they want to be near? Are there specific locations they want to stay away from? Understanding the family dynamic here is going to be really powerful. I don't know if everybody saw this. Recently, Facebook released a new ability to target people that are under the same household. So even more powerful to know what the entire family dynamic is, so you can market to an entire family. The third category is their real estate desires. What are their wants? What are their needs? What are their programs? I can almost guarantee that you and your general client base have a niche that they're after, whether that's working in the downtown area. Mike, you guys are in San Diego. You have like 20 different submarkets that exist within one big market. There's different areas that you can come in and define. They have different needs. They have different programs that they may or may not qualify for. Mike, do you talk to a veteran buyer the same way you would talk to a multi-million-dollar seller, right?
No, not at all.
Absolutely not. It's a completely different conversation. And in my opinion, Mike, and you can give me yours, I think this is what creates such a disconnect. If you're listening to this right now and you have something that you can write this down and don't ever forget. The person that works with everyone works with no one, right? If you're out there trying to please everybody, you're not going to. And one of the reasons you have such what we call content confusion is because you don't know who you're talking to. And it's difficult. Like, you can't talk to a veteran the same way you talk to a multi-million-dollar home buyer. You can't talk to FHA loan the same way you're talking to a doctor, right? It's just not designed to work that way. So when you zero in on what they qualify for, it makes it so much easier to have the types of conversations that you're wanting to have.
Can I get so let me just add to that really quick. Is like, you're right. You're not going to attract everybody. And when you try to, you actually relate to none. And the same thing happened with my whole dude brand. I used to sell houses. Now I'm selling marketing. My demographics have not changed. Verbatim. And it's the dude thing. Like, even when I was selling houses in Chicago, I repelled attorneys and doctors and the professionals, right? But everyone who called me, they were just like me. What's up, dude? They would what's up me, bro, on a lead in. That wasn't a lead. That was a come list me. That was a client.
Yeah. Perfect example. And we find that when most people build out this profile right here that I'm showing everybody, their perfect customer is almost a mirror of them, which helps them understand that they're in a relationship business, especially, they're going out to attract more of their friends. Like, that's the type of people that we want to do business with. And the last thing that you guys should know, and it's usually people's least favorite, but what are their likes? What are their dislikes? What are their religious views? What are their political views? When you look and consider the fact that most people become your friends outside of a real estate transaction, you generally want to be around people that you agree with, not that you disagree with. And I'm sure if you guys are listening to this, hit me up in the comment section. Have you ever been in a nightmare transaction? I'm sure we've got a few. Mike, have you ever been in a couple nightmare transactions?
Yeah, but not a ton because of that. I've never bought leads. I've always attracted. My whole business model has been on attraction, but very few I have, and I hear it all the time.
And that proves the point here, is that the reason that you're having a nightmare transaction is very likely not got anything to do with the transaction experience, with the loan officer, with the title rep, with a lot of the types of just systematic parts of the transaction. It's probably more closely related to the fact that you're doing business with somebody you probably don't connect with, you don't relate with, you don't agree with. Therefore, you are personally butting heads, and that's kind of coming into your business world. So the more of these people that you can find in the marketplace, and I promise you they exist in droves, the more business that you're going to do with people that you like.
Grant.
Now, also, go ahead.
All right. So you're basically saying target yourself.
Target yourself, absolutely. Those are the people you know you want to do business with anyway.
Well, here's the thing, though. Let's play devil's advocate. But then I'm going to miss a couple of those leads.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that's a great point, that you're going to miss out on a couple of great leads. You probably will miss out on a couple, maybe even more, tens of thousands of dollars in commission checks. But the beautiful thing about real estate is that you can refer a lot of business out. So find great referral partners where you can refer those people that you don't connect with out. You'll still make 50%, 25 to 50% of the money without doing any of the legwork and without having to worry about damaging your reputation. But most importantly, understand that your client, and I'm getting ready to show you a tool that will really help you visualize how many people exist in your market, but your ideal client exists by the thousands in your market, by the hundreds of thousands in your market. You are only after this much market share. If you have 1 to 3%, and that's really low, 1 to 3% market share in your market, I can almost guarantee you're making multiple six figures annually. I'm after literally 0.0, I think I added, I was like 0.0056% of the real estate marketplace. If I do business with my entire ideal customer, I do it was like 350 something plus $1 million in business. You're after a tiny portion of the market share. So go carve out that niche and own that niche. When we're talking about becoming a market, somebody that owns a market or dominates the market, it's the people. And you go look at any market that you're in right now. If you want to look at the people that are dominating the market, it's the people that carved out a portion of it. They don't own the entire market because they don't get along with everybody in the market.
100%.
Business is unlimited, right? If you go out and you carve out your market, that's the people that have gone to the next level from a production standpoint. They've carved out their portion of it and they own it. Absolutely. And this tool right here, guys, save this. Facebook Audience Insights will reveal to you just how many people in your market actually exist. And this is just a high level example, but I was in Seattle. We pull up Seattle in the category of things and we type in real estate. Now Seattle is massive, right? But it tells us, this is my favorite part right here, which companies they like, which restaurants they like, which parts of Seattle they gear to, which news stations, which political figures. All of the relevant information about your community and your prospect as it relates to your community kind of comes to light. So Mike, what I think is so powerful here is if you're struggling to think about what type of content to create, this tool, and it's free to everybody, just Google Facebook Audience Insights. This tool literally will tell you which restaurant that your prospect probably most likes, which news station, which school it's closest to. All of those types of answers that you might not know right now really become kind of realized or actualized when you pull a report like this and it tells you where your people like to hang out. Then which businesses to go interview. What type of content to create around your community. So this is just a great tool.
Does this pull, Grant, I'm sorry I missed that, but does this pull people that match your profile?
Not like your profile. Yeah, so what you would do is you would just type as much information over on the left as you have. So if you you're interested in real estate and Fox News and the San Diego Padres and so on and so forth, just continue to build out that profile. It will refine the audience down more and more. So then you get a really good understanding of what your potential ideal prospects.
So basically, just because I want everyone to go use this. So basically you go into the left and you describe yourself and then it tells you what's there on the right.
Absolutely.
Folks, that's huge. You guys should literally, if you don't know who you are yet, just state who you are, and then Facebook could tell you what type of content to create.
Absolutely.
Very cool. I never see that part. That's awesome.
So, okay.
I'm going to do this today.
I do it every day. I do it, and I'm in this tool a lot. Most people don't really exist because Facebook kind of pulled it down publicly to a certain extent. but it's a great resource. So hopefully everybody on here understands what a marketing funnel is, but I just want to kind of visually explain what it is that we are building for our prospects. When you're building a client generation system, it's made up of multiple components, okay? And so this is what we call, Mike, a dynamic user experience, something we got from Frank Kern. There's all types of names for something like this. Salesforce calls it what do they call it? A one-to-one client journey. There's all types of verbiage. We call it a dynamic user experience. So you see, we're trying to take people that don't know who we are on the far left, right? And we're trying to pull them in. You see the magnets trying to pull them in and pull them into that top level where they now gain awareness to who we are, what we do, and how we can help them. Now, Mike, what do you do whenever you find out about a new product that you've never seen before? What's your first action?
Check it out.
Check it out. Absolutely. Once somebody understands who you are, what you do, they go into this interest, or what we call a discovery phase of your dynamic user experience, where they're now trying to seek you out. This right here, step 2, is the single greatest failure of the modern real estate agent today, because they're calling a lead, they're texting them, and they don't answer, they're moving on. That's it. They're not actually creating an experience where the prospect can build a relationship with the real estate agent. Mike, I don't know about you, but I need a new pill organizer for my vitamins, okay? It's a really simple thing. It's taken me 3 weeks. I've researched 4 different companies, and I still haven't bought a pill thing. It's like $8. It's stupid for me to do as much research as I'm doing, but our purchase behavior is so radically changed today. We do so much more research. When you look and consider the fact that 37% of homes sold in 2018 were sold to millennials, 99% of those home searches originating online, you're seeing a huge market open up here of people that take their time and analyze their decisions. And so what type of experience are we creating for the prospect in that time frame? Are you embedding an experience for the have, i.e. giving them videos to watch, giving them good reviews, giving them all the information that you know they're seeking, or are you just calling them and texting them, calling it a day? And this is where what you do, Mike, is so absolutely paramount and crucial to the success of a marketing campaign. You know, so guys like Billy Jean on in the Real Closers group today, you know, guys like that are invaluable to helping map out content. You and what you do are invaluable. That's such a big thing.
Let's put it in. So like imagine, and real estate's a big decision. So like if you're buying a house, you got to get in a car with the realtor. You basically have to spend 3 weeks with somebody, 4 weeks with somebody that you never really met before, right? So you want to make sure you do that with someone you like is what it comes down to. That's what it does. This is what we call it. We call it the human side, man. The human side.
It's such a big part of it. I mean, and if you're listening to this right now and you're like, yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, look, analyze your own purchase behavior. You do not rush into decisions. I know for a fact that you don't. So why get upset when people take a minute to figure out the largest investment decision of their life? Don't be romantic about the timeline that they give you. Be romantic about creating an experience that nobody else in the marketplace is creating for them that makes them fall in love with you. So when they are ready, they come and do business with you. You're so top of mind, you're so relevant that they couldn't imagine going to anybody else. And then they move into the decision phase, Mike, and then the action phase where it's like, hey, I'm going to do this, yes or no. They take action one way or another.
This is dating.
Absolutely. It's absolutely dating. You're not just going to walk up to a stranger and ask for $1. Like, that's not how life works. And so I don't know why people get upset when it happens from a consumer side. Nobody wakes up on a Tuesday, friends, and says, I'm going to go buy a $500,000 property today.
Yep.
Unless you're an investor, right? But nobody does it. And so I don't know why we would be upset when they did. So now that you understand what type of experience you're going to create for somebody, I think that it's really important to understand psychologically what drives that decision-making process. And I know that I've gone through a few things before we actually get to like Facebook ads and some of those things. But if you understand consumer behavior, you understand what to put in front of people at what time, so you know how to get the types of actions that you're hoping to get out of any given situation. So this is going to sound so kindergarten, Mike, but I read a great book called Breakthrough Advertising written by Eugene Schwartz. I highly recommend anybody that can get it, read it. It's about an $800 or $900 book on advertising and copywriting and those types of things. And in the book, he talks about the 3 different types of mindsets. And all I kind of have done here is taken what he said and really just applied it to real estate. the first mindset that somebody has around buying or selling a home is that they're unaware. They're unaware that they have this desire or need for the real estate process. Those are the only two things that we can leverage when it comes to marketing, getting somebody to take action: desire and necessity. So you can think of this, Mike, for example, you throw a billboard on a majorly trafficked highway, you're hoping that everybody driving that highway is going to see your billboard. They're going to have this desire for real estate in some capacity or need, and they're going to call you. Mm-hmm. And the truth is, it's just not how it works anymore. I mean, it still does. There's a branding component to this that really kills. But if we don't know we have a problem, or we don't know that we need something, it's not going to process. It's our reticular activation system. We're not even allowing ourselves to think about it. Mike, have you ever talked to somebody about real estate that had no interest in real estate whatsoever?
Yeah, until something changed, like a question that I asked that said, shit, maybe I really do need that. So like, think about a person or a family that only has 2 bedrooms and 3 kids. And right. The video would be like, or think about a family all brushing this is even better. Think about a family all brushing their teeth in the same bathroom in the morning. And then the video's like, yeah, is this your scene in the morning? Yep, this shit's got to end. Sorry, that's going to generate my attention. That's probably something that would make them, maybe I do need that house. Is that what you're saying?
No, not really, but that's perfect for my next part of this.
All right.
But the power of Facebook is this right here, is that we get to strategically and directly only advertise our business to people that we know have a desire or need for the real estate process. So the second phase of awareness is what we call home aware. People that are aware of their desire or need for the real estate process. This is another point that agents make big mistakes, because they throw their face out there and say, hey, I can help you buy or sell a home, when the reality of the situation is that most people today don't actually really know that they need a real estate agent in the beginning. What do they want? What's their end goal here? They just want what?
Solution.
They want the solution. They want a house, right? They want to buy a home. They want to sell a home, right? They know what their end goal is. So as marketers, as real estate agents, we should give people more of what they want, i.e. the home, and less of what they need, i.e. you. This is why companies like Zillow have masterfully dominated the space, because they unequivocally are the best at giving the consumer what they want, which is access to property, okay? You guys have the power to do the exact same thing. And when you do, you introduce somebody to their third mindset, which is home plus you aware. They're aware that they have a desire need for the real estate process, and they're aware that you can help them. Okay, this is why Zillow generates a lead and then sells it to you. You are an important part of that equation. And once they enter this mindset, they really need to begin that relationship building process. If we go back to the picture of the marketing funnel, right? They then go into discovery phase. So this is a lot of the pre-work that happens up here psychologically, getting people in the mood to start building a relationship, right? So now what I'd like to show you guys is what it looks like from an advertising standpoint. So this is one of our marketing funnels that we run. This is what it looks like. This is verbatim what we do, right? So we'll run a Facebook ad, and we do things in levels. So we have level 1, which is cold lead generation. Our first goal is just to put good targeted ads out to generate new names, email addresses, phone numbers, physical addresses, people that have an interest in real estate. And as you see, it kind of carries on down and trickles. We'll remarket to them through the pixel. We'll put them in automations, and we'll kind of carry them through. But this is a great example of a homes list campaign or a social listing method campaign that we run that is designed to give the prospect access to what they want, which is lists of properties. So we will take an advertisement, we'll use a video, or we'll use a collage image of different types of houses in a marketplace. And as you can see, hey, attention, whatever community, we'll use pixels, obviously, or not pixels, emojis, because it increases the engagement quite a bit. Looking for a home in X area, click here to get a free report of homes priced under X amount of dollars. People always ask, okay, how do I find what the price point is? So this is just a pro tip. Go into your MLS, do a little research. What's the median price point of homes sold the last 90 days? And you're going to get a number. And that median price point, whether it's $375 or it's $275 or it's $499 or whatever, That's going to be where all the action in the marketplace is actually happening, right? So that's where we want to advertise. That's where we want to inject ourselves into the market. So we'll run this advertisement, and this is literally verbatim what we do, right? We'll take this Homes List style advertisement and we'll target it like this. So we do things in tiers. We have our first tier of audience, and this is what it is. I'm going to go through this kind of quick because I know I'm taking up way too much time. Sorry, Mike. But tier 1, we'll market to these core categories. Tier 2, we'll market to these categories, and some of these are subject to change as Facebook changes and evolves for sure. And then tier 3, which is optional, we will target some of these things on the right, or we'll exclude some of these things on the left so that other agents aren't seeing a lot of our advertisements. And this is kind of what it looks like behind the scenes. This is an ads manager that has a lot of this stuff plugged into it. You see a bunch of zip codes in there. Facebook's going to be pulling a lot of the zip code stuff out right now. It is a ninja tactic for getting hyper qualified and quality leads, is leveraging zip codes. If you analyze the MLS and you figure out that the price points say 350, what we'll do is we'll then pull a county report and we'll look at the whole county, all zip codes included, and we'll say, okay, who is plus or minus 50K in a zip from these zip codes? And we'll select all of those zip codes that are plus or minus 50K, and we'll target those too. Great strategy for pulling in leads, farming, all of those different types of things that you can leverage. And just another pro tip you'll see here is our budget strategy. We're a few dollars under, but if you look in the right-hand side, it says our potential reach is $140,000. If you want to create an ad that is really consistent, it creates sustainability, and it produces leads for a long time, don't forget this rule. Spend $1 per 10,000 people in the audience. So the appropriate budget for this ad to create that longevity would be $14 a day. Okay? If you don't spend enough money, Facebook won't give you enough of the result, right? Sometimes even spend your money at all because they're saying, look, you're not spending enough money to win on the auction system. We're not going to spend any of this money, whatever. If you spend too much, you'll generate a ton of leads, and then your ad will die off. So we call this ad recycling. It has a shelf life. If you spend too much money, it'll blow through. Your frequencies will get up in your audiences, and your impression counts will get way up, so on and so forth. And the ad will just stop working because it's been seen too many times by the same group of people. So you'll pull all those leads out. You'll have to stop, restart the ad. If you can implement a really consistent budget strategy, you'll be far happier with a lot of those results. So that's our first level. What we're doing is we're generating cold leads, pulling them into an automation. And then this is where, again, what you do is so important. Because what we just did is we generated a lead, right? Somebody that was home aware, and we introduced them to us. Hey, thanks for opting into my list. My name's so-and-so. This is how I can help you. We brought them into that home plus you aware phase. We brought them into that relationship building phase. We then need to really start firing off video content. Okay, Mike, this is where the videos that you showed me today, this is exactly how those would be used. We would retarget every single lead that came in with those videos. Just like what happens, Mike, you go to Amazon, you don't buy a product, or you find a golf club you like, but you decide not to buy it. What happens?
Well, you leave, and or you log off, and all of a sudden Amazon starts following you around, and so does that product.
They follow you all over the internet, right?
Yep.
As a real estate agent, if you're not following your prospects all over the internet, you're doing yourself a disservice. And you can do it really easy, really simply. You just take some of the video content that you're allowing Mike to help you create, and you begin to retarget that to every single lead that came into your system. So now while everybody's leveraging the same call scripts, same text scripts, same email messages, same systems, you have something that is very dynamically building a relationship with the prospect on autopilot. There's no way for leads to fall through the cracks. Mike, I've used the same strategy in my own business for the last 6 years, and no leads ever fallen through the cracks because they always go right back to Facebook, and they always see new content from me because I'm directly targeting.
Can I ask you a question here?
Yes.
So on level 1, we're using stuff that they want. We're basically being Zillow on Facebook. You're
Absolutely.
giving them a house or anything that they click on. So you're not necessarily using the video in level 1, but you're using it more in video 2 to build the relationships as anything else. So you're casting a net. Just so you guys follow, you're casting a wide net to an audience that's probably 3 different targeting, 3 different groups of targeting, 3 different audiences, wide net of people that raise their hand. Whether they opt in or not, I don't think Grant really cares. I think he just wants to set up retargeting audiences.
Yeah, that's true. So we don't worry too much about the people that opt in. I mean, the people that don't opt in and don't opt in, because we want to try to grab both, right? You already paid for attention that you don't own. Why not keep that attention going through the process, especially because you're going to catch a lot of people that are early in the decision phase of, buying or selling a home. So no, we'll retarget to everybody just because we want to stay top of mind to those people. But what we know is that Facebook has strategically placed these ads in front of people they believe have a heightened interest in the real estate process. So the video elements, and here's some examples of some videos, guys. There's some about me videos. There's some about the company videos. There's some educational content. We highly recommend that you begin the relationship building process just like you would in person, right? You get to know each other, and somebody that's thinking about doing business with you, I guarantee they want to get to know you. And we're finding more and more. I'm talking to people every single day. I've done all my research. I've looked at all your videos. I've done all my due diligence. I don't need to get to know you because I feel like I know you. I don't know if I have enough time. You tell me, Mike. There's a psychological reason for this. Is it cool if I jump into that?
Keep going. Yeah. You guys want to keep going as long as the content's good. I think we just let this baby play.
Yeah, I was about to say that's probably should just ask everybody. Does everybody want me to talk about why video works so well? Why it makes you a celebrity? Hit us up in the comments section if you want me to keep going, because I got some good stuff. I don't have to stop, but you guys let me for sure.
Yep. Go for it.
Awesome. So, Mike, let's say that you have a celebrity that you follow. You got an actor, an athlete, so on and so forth. Give me, what's a name? What's a celebrity that you like?
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan. Okay. So, for some reason, let's say you and I get, into a conversation, and I said, look, LeBron James is a million times better than Michael Jordan. Michael was never that great of a basketball player. He was a crappy human being, so on and so forth. What would you instinctively think?
Well, first I'd be like, this guy's a dick, but he likes basketball.
Perfect. I'm gonna go with your first thing that came out of your mouth, right? This guy's a jerk.
All right.
So the truth is, do you personally know Michael Jordan?
Nope.
Does he personally know you?
Nope.
So you only know what you've seen behind a TV screen, and you've probably only seen 2% of Michael's whole life.
Pretty much.
Right? Okay. The reason that this happens, it's a psychological term. It's called a parasocial relationship, and it's most common in celebrities. It's where one person builds a relationship with a character, and the character has no idea the other person even exists. Mike, when we were little kids, somebody sat us in front of the TV screen, and they said, here, you need to watch these cartoons because I got stuff to do and you're annoying me, right? And hey, go watch TV, or hey, go play with your brother and sister and watch TV. And you grew up as a little kid and you kept watching TV because it was your source. If they didn't send you outside, it was your source of quiet that your parents needed, right, to get things done. As we got older, we've got our shows that we watch. We've got our actors that we continue to kind of praise over. The point of that is that we have been programmed since we were little to celebritize what we saw behind those TV screens. We were programmed since we were little kids subconsciously to fall in love with what we saw or hate what we saw. And as we grew up, our TV devices switched from these boxes sitting in our living rooms to these devices that never leave our hands. And our networks went from ABC, NBC, CBS to Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Snapchat, LinkedIn, right? So now when people start to see you from a video standpoint, they are literally subconsciously wired to build an affinity towards you, to build a relationship with you. Mike, when I see your videos, I see them all the time, and then I see The Rock, and then I see Albert Pujols, used to be an old favorite of mine, and then I see Zion Kim or, the Greek Freak, right? Then I see all these people that I also like, that I know are celebrities. There's these instant associations that are created in our mind where people start to think that we are celebrities. And
I want to mention a couple things because this is what I get this a lot too. People agents will call us. Like I was walking in the grocery store and someone walked up to me and they're like, "Oh my God, you're that guy, you're that real estate agent on all those videos." And she's like, everyone's always surprised, but you're exactly right. I've never gone through that explanation. But dude, that was right on. And that is 100% because video makes you an authority.
Absolutely. It makes you an authority and it makes you a celebrity. So I have to ask everybody that's watching this right now, hit us up in the comment section. How would you like it if you had a bunch of people, bunch of prospects in your local market that blindly defended you, even though that they don't know you, just like Mike defended Michael Jordan, right? Said I was a jerk because I thought LeBron was better, or I made these comments. What would it be like? What would your life be like if you?
I did that subconsciously.
What's that?
I did that subconsciously. It like called you a jerk.
Yes.
I didn't even think about it because you said LeBron, and now I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I automatically said no. Michael Jordan's the only 23 who should ever get retired.
Yes, there we go. We could probably argue about this for like the next 30 minutes, right? So, point being, guys, using video, just the simple act of using it. You don't have to be good at it. You don't have to be a pro at it. You don't have to have camera equipment. You don't have to have the best stuff. You don't have to have the best scripts. You don't have to be wearing makeup. You don't have to have your hair done. You don't have to be wearing the nicest clothes. The simple act of appearing on a video in a screen format, people are wired to build a relationship with you. And that's really powerful. Really
100%. Powerful. Yep. And I've never heard it explained that way. That was so right on. If you guys should go back and listen to that again. And again, that's what the whole thing of authenticity. Really
listen to it a few times too, and Google it. Google parasocial relationship, because a lot of you are probably like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. That doesn't make sense. It's made up. Like, go Google it. Like, it's a real thing. It exists. It's the psychological term for it. Mike, what you're seeing here is just kind of the back end in Facebook. People always ask, okay, how do I create my retargeting audiences? Because Facebook tracks how much of a video somebody watches. So you can track 3 seconds, 10 seconds, their new through plays. You can track 25%, 50%, 75, 95, whatever. So when we go to build custom audiences, we will remarket to people that have watched a percentage of our video, and that pulls them into level 3. So as you're seeing here, we get them down into level 3. If they watch at least, we traditionally probably start with 3 seconds, more than 10, but they watch 3 to 10 seconds of the video. We want to trap their attention, right? We want them to keep seeing more content from us. And if they watch over 50% of our video, over 50%, it probably meant that they were really focused, really interested in what we had to say. So what we'll do is we'll send them an opportunity to book an appointment with us, or to send us a message like, hey, here's a call to action. Contact us right now and we will help you. And these are some examples of different advertisements that we'll put out there to try to generate some of those appointments. We've booked over 15,000, almost 16,000 appointments for our own business in the last 4 or 5 years using this exact same formula. And we've helped a ton of our clients do it too. We've had clients that literally leveraged our appointment generation strategies, spent $31.09 in Facebook ads, generated a $926,000 listing, sold it in 1 week for $20,000 over asking, made $23,000, right? There's amazing stories from what can happen when you implement what I'm calling, guys, a client generation system. These things that I've shown you today are really merely simply components of building out a system like that. And if you will follow everything that I just gave you, like I'm not charging you for this, like I just gave it to you, you could get results like this. This is Lindsay Porter. She's a client of ours. In 2018, she spent $1,577 in Facebook ads. She spent pennies. She sold 26 homes. 26 houses sold for $1,577 for Facebook ads. It was over $150,000 earned just from social media. This is one part of her business. This isn't talking about referrals or other lead generation companies or any of those things. She just leveraged the simple client generation system I just showed you all, and those were the results that she gets. She sells a house for every $60.65 she spends, which is just sick. And that's the beautiful part about a client generation system is like, we're not just focused on what's my cost per lead. Cost per lead is merely a guide that tells us if we're driving between the lines down the middle of the road. It's not the end all be all stat. your conversion rates, all these metrics that exist that people are so hyper obsessed with, they don't really matter if you look at the bigger picture, which is the oldest rule in business. He or she who can spend the most to acquire customers wins. How much does it cost you to get a customer? If you're watching this right now and you cannot answer that question, I promise you, you are in trouble when it comes to learning, understanding, figuring out how to grow and scale your business. Every single person sitting on this webcast, listening to this training, that will listen to it in the future, you have a literal ATM machine that exists. All businesses do. But if you don't know how to leverage it, to dial it up or dial it down to scale, you will not ever get to really that place that I know you can see in the back of your mind, that version of success that you've always wanted. So I beg you, put a client generation system in place that will help you accomplish that. So Mike, today my goal, brother, was to teach people how to generate leads, to help them understand how to dynamically retarget their prospects with video, and to teach them how to generate appointments, so that if they do all those things, they will have built a client generation system. I hope that you thought, Mike, that it was valuable enough. If you guys are listening to this right now and you felt like it was valuable enough, please hit me up in the comments section. It warms my heart to know that I was able to add value to your life today. Hopefully somebody watching this can take a piece apart and go out there and just amplify their results. That would mean the world to me. I always tell people, I'm not after your money, I'm after your success. I just want to see you become a raging success in your market, because you've earned it, you deserve it, and you're worth it. So Mike, thanks, bro.
Yeah. I have a couple questions, and if you guys have any follow-ups, go ahead and ask them now. We do have a few minutes. We'll go a little bit over. First question is, and here's what I got out of today, using Facebook to identify potential interest, then using video to build the relationship. And based upon the amount of the video they watch, that's when you send over your advertisement to book the appointment, meaning that 50%. First question I see is, how do you see who watched a video on Facebook? You can't see who watched it. You could just retarget the number of people that watched a certain percentage of it. Do you want to add to that, Grant?
Yeah, Facebook believes that it's a kind of a security breach if they give us access to too much information. So you're never going to really specifically see whose profile watched your videos. But Facebook, once you go in and build retargeting audiences or custom audiences, you'll see the audience size continue to grow, and grow. And that's really who you know to remarket to.
Yep. Can you repeat where you get the personal insights again?
Yeah, you go to Facebook Audience Insights. Just Google it. Google Facebook Audience Insights, and their link for that specific part of Facebook will pop up.
Okay. Is there some specific training on how to do this, and where do you get it?
That's a super loaded question. But I mean, yeah, obviously there's endless amounts of training.
Grant, we're not trying to open this up to be a sales pitch today. We're just trying to give value to you guys. But Grant has a Facebook ads agency that you guys can check out if you need help on this type of marketing. I have a video marketing company. I create content for real estate agents. So that's about as plugged in as we'll make it today. But Grant, I have a couple other questions that I saw pop up. And what type of ads on the initial interest gathering work the best? So just to get people into the funnel, because you need something engaging to get someone to click or engage so that you can start the whole retargeting thing. So what types works best there?
You got to just always remember, what does my client want? Not what do they need? What do they want? What do they want? What do they want? What do they want? They want the home, or they want the end result. They want to sell their home, right? So homes list work. They've worked in every country I've ran them in, and I've worked them all over the world. Social listing method is where we take the listing that you might have and we market it just like Zillow does. You kind of become the Zillow in your market from a social standpoint, and you use your listings to generate hundreds of leads. It's an amazing strategy. If somebody's interested in buying or selling, they're interested in guides, real estate buyer's guides, seller's guides, rent versus buy calculators. Is it smarter to rent or smarter to buy? They're interested in quizzes. Should I buy a home? So on and so forth. There's all types of strategies. Just never forget, guys, what does my prospect want? And when you know what they want, just give it to them. That's the way that you pull anybody in. If you know where they're at psychologically, mentally in the process, it's very easy to just give them what they want. That's how you pull anybody into your marketing experience.
When I first started creating a lot of content, I remember I did it based upon what I want or what I thought they should have, right? And so what I ended up doing was I wrote 12 1,000 word blog posts, 12 videos, all like in a week's period. It was exhausting. But it was a big waste of time for that very reason. When you're creating content, it's never about yourself, guys. It's always about them. And you just speak through your tonality. I know it's easier said than done, but there's a major difference on how you communicate on that. And honestly, it's just applied to dating. When you met your significant other, were you guys really did you guys really go home on the first night? And if you did, great. But, realistically, that doesn't happen. You have to build a relationship. You have to earn trust. And the same way you make a relationship online is no differently than how you would do it offline. Grant, you have any other closing thoughts? If you guys have any other questions, go ahead and ask them. I'll check Facebook. And if not, we'll be rolling this out.
Yeah, guys, people always ask me, what do I got to do to be successful with Facebook ads or with video marketing or any of those types of things? And the thing that I would tell you is you just have to do it. We live in an age right now where if you just simply taking action will get you results. And that's so profound and so powerful. Don't be fooled by this. Everybody always says, well, everybody's doing Facebook ads. And I say, well, look, there's how many people in the Real Closers group? It's like 50,000 plus.
Yeah.
And you go search in the Real Closers group, search Facebook ads. Okay. And you'll see every post about Facebook ads, and you will see probably the same core people that are commenting on each of those ads, right? Let's say that if out of 50,000 people, there's actually really only 300 to 500 people in the group talking about Facebook ads. You guys think that there's a bunch of people running it because it's what you're seeing most often in the circles that you run in. The truth is very few people are actually appropriately, strategically, directly running Facebook ads the right way. Even fewer are using video in their business. So if you want kind of an arbitrage here, you want you want the cheat code, you want to go out there and get results nobody else is going to get right now, just go do it. You don't have to be good at it. You could suck at it. You could be the worst in the space. You can you could be the worst executor of all time, but as long as you just show up and you do what people like Mike
way ahead of the curve.
You're way ahead of the curve. You're an early adopter still. So even if you feel like you're going to suck, it's totally fine because nobody else is going to be around you sucking. Everybody's still using the call scripts, using the same door knock scripts. You are in the minority when it comes to implementing these things because 90+% of your market's still doing things traditionally. So if you think that the market's oversaturated with Facebook ads, I promise you it's not, because few people are doing them and even fewer are doing them the right way.
Yeah. I think a lot of it is a lot of people, everyone wants instant gratification now, and clickbait only will get you so far. And if you guys don't believe me, the CMA ads, remember those from 4 or 5 years ago? Those are awesome. You thought you could retire on that. But the habits changed, right? Yep. Consumer habits change, and there's a lot more people doing it. So very, very good show, very informative. Grant, go ahead and tell people how they can reach you, and then we'll get this thing closed out.
Anybody that wants to connect with me on Instagram right now, like Grant Wise, Like Grant Wise. Follow me. I will follow you back. Shoot me a DM. I'd love to connect with you, answer any more questions that you have.
Cool. And folks, you guys know where to find me, realestatemarketingdude.com. And thank you guys for listening. A really good show. And we will talk to you guys again later. Maybe we'll be doing an encore of this. Everyone, peace out. Have a good day. Go take action now. All right.